Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to get back to the day trading action? I know I'm excited. I've been killing it on the small account. Really good trade in success. We'll talk about that right here on the stream. And of course, we'll take a look at what is looking good today, what isn't looking good, and where the opportunities are. Stay tuned right here on live trading. Let's get it, boys.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. Let's get to the action. The boys are here. Let's get to it. Zunaid, Ryan in the house. You know, we'll be looking at the trading action. We'll see what we find today. Yesterday, really not being a bad day for me. I actually got the top trade in the account, and maybe should have taken a little bit of some swing action too, right? I mean, if we're looking at it now and I take a look at where success was and where I sold it, I mean, of course, I'm going to be looking back a little bit, and that's just natural, right? But let me bring up my screen here. You guys can see success already pushing there to 1760. I actually sold this yesterday. I got it at 1622, sold it at 1668. It was a really nice win. It was close to 15, and this was, like I've been talking about, 3-1, and that was the real goal there. So success now taking off there to 1760. I mean, I could have got another buck on that. So that just goes to show me that, hey, sometimes we might need to be and take an ability to take a swing. Now, the only thing was, sometimes if I do get that reward, like 3-1, and that's the idea here, sometimes it's going to be about, rinsing and repeating, right? Just taking that, then just doing it all over again. So yes, am I missing some of this success move? But I'm not going to be upset about that. I'm just going to view it as what we did was an objective plan and nailed the execution. Let's go ahead. Let's kick it to my boys. We'll see the S&P 500. And of course, if you guys got stocks to look at, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to continue looking to see if technology continues to break down. Of course, I still got LRCX. Now I'm up massively in this one. This is it was a little bit of a ballsy call. I'm not even going to say that. I mean, even Dennis looked at me and he was like, man, that was ballsy, taking a short on that. But the truth is, I was looking for the China news to come into play. You see Micron, what's going on with Micron right now? It's getting hit hard. I think this is a very important thing to catch. And I think as we continue to see semiconductors turn around, I think this is going to be more profit-taking area, especially if we're getting more headwinds to present itself. You also heard about COVID news coming out of China. This could be affecting the overall market. Kicking it to my man Ryan to take a look at the S&P 500. And of course, he'll bring up the SPY with that, and we'll see what else is out there in his watch. And of course, we'll kick it to Zunaid right after that.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks for the intro. Good morning, folks. Good to see a whole bunch of returning faces. My favorite comment, love my fellow D-Gens from Silver
There
Fox
you go, baby.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Let's take a look at the SPY, folks. What we see here is continuation to the downside. Now, remember, I've been in a bearish camp for a long time, even through the recent run-up that we've had. This looks like a trade back into the sideways zone. We have now 2 closes in that purple area, that sideways zone. I look for this to keep coming down. Market is weak here. So let's see if we can actually test the 410 level on the SPY. We'll see, currently at 412.50. So we'll see if we can get down and test that 410.68, 410.50, whatever you want to call it. That would be my next support level down. Beneath that, we have the 50-day moving average at 407.94. So that would be another support if we continue to sell off. The other thing that we've seen here is that when we see weakness or when we see strength in the pre-market, oftentimes that move continues right out of the open, only to then reverse as the market day goes on. So we'll see if we end up getting that action here today. This is what I'm looking at SPY. Mitch, great job on the SQQQ trade. I know he stepped away for a sec. Great job in the SQQQ trade, trading this continuation to the downside. We'll see if that continues today or if we get some type of reversal. One thing I do want to mention here in the main account, I actually did take a very, very small swing, and I'm mentioning it because it goes against pretty much everything that I do. I took a stock that was under $1. Now, albeit it is very, very close to $1. This is TCBP. This is TC Biopharma Holdings. This is a thinly traded biotech. We've seen a lot of biotechs running here. This has clearly been a theme. We've got some more on the movers tool today. This was actually a tip from a trader buddy yesterday, so I took it pretty small. Just took 1,000 shares at like 88 cents. What's my average price? 89.9. So just about 90 cents on TCBP. What I'm looking for here is a break of yesterday's intraday high at 94 and then a dollar test. And if we get that and we move above, it's likely to get wild, and I'd probably close the trade there. Again, really not a large position at all. Trying to get my feel back so that I can actually crush this small account challenge. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Here is the Moomoo account. No change from yesterday. So if I go here, you can see I'm still slightly under the starting balance here. We're on a 3-trade losing streak right now, which is the reason we've traded back down here. So the good news today is that I've got 2 day trades today, and I get another one on Monday, right? So I've got 2 trades for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going to try to spread those day trades out throughout the rest of the week. We'll see what we can find. And if we see anything to swing, we'll go ahead and swing. The reason I didn't take TCBP in this account is that I view it as a pretty high risk trade. I don't really know much about the company. I know it's thinly traded. It's under $1. It's against a lot of the rules that I have. So I opted to take the safer route and take it in the main account in small size relative to the account. So no position here in Moomoo, but we will be looking for some more small account positions today. Now, speaking of possible plays today, let's go ahead and investigate that. First one here, biggest one on the list, GCT. This is Giga Cloud Tech, and we have a really nice news catalyst that's driving it here. And actually, since I charted this morning, I've gone ahead and added another line here at 1157. Giga Cloud Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported year-over-year increase in Q1 financial results. If you go into here, it actually goes on to say that this is reaching the highest probability in the company's history. And I think it's this line that's really, really driving this here today. Really good numbers on earnings. So we'll see where this ends up going today. We're up 100% here in the pre-market. As Jay Rice is saying, GCT actually makes money. David O'Donnell, Giga Chad Tech. I like that. That's probably what we'll call it here today. So in any case, GCT, this is an absolute monster here. No position. Given how extended we are from the VWAP, what I would really be looking for here in a potential trade is for this to come back in. As long as this comes back in and gives us a trade around the VWAP, I suspect at some point it's going to bounce. That's what I'm going to be looking for on GCT, probably the primary watch here today. Next is going to be EEIQ. This is Epic Quest Education Group. This was as high as 336 earlier today. We came all the way back in. We're currently at 250. This support here in the low 240s seems to have held twice, so we'll see if that continues to hold today. We're actually below the VWAP, so a trade back to the VWAP would be a good trigger for a potential long side trade. Next is going to be ENVB, and this is one that we've traded off the scanner a whole bunch. You can see the last time that we traded this popped up into about the same area, and it dropped. So what we want to do is we want to see is this same behavior going to happen here today? If so, we want to stay out of it or try to buy the pullbacks. If you recall on ENVB, on May 18th, we actually popped twice, came back in, and then popped late in the day. So even if this does not materialize in a long side trade early, definitely keep this on your watch list. This could be one of the stocks that ends up moving in the afternoon. We've seen that a whole lot. Crow's been telling you a whole lot about that. I've noticed that as well in a lot of these small cap plays. So ENVB, this could be an all-day play, even if it doesn't set up for a long side trade early on. Next is going to be CYTO, and this is another one that we have traded quite a bit. You can see back in the pre-market on May 4th, we actually traded as high as 151. We're pretty much right back up to the resistance level that we couldn't clear out after we came in from that big pop. I still have 125 and 138 as key levels here. We're going to go ahead and add another one at 151. Let's see if CYTO materializes for a potential trade here. Again, it looks like we're kind of at this near-term double top in the pre-market. We'll see if we end up breaking that and testing the 125. Another one to keep your eye on here is Zura. This is Zura Bio. This is trading up here as well. This was as high as 750. Zura Bio shares are trading higher after Raymond James initiated coverage on the stock with a strong buy rating and a $20 price target. Raymond James, a pretty good firm, $20 price target. That is vastly greater than where we're at right now, and initiated it with a strong buy. So remember, we've talked about this, not just the price target, it's actually a new initiation with a very, very favorable rating. One of the things that I'd be looking for is a move back up towards this 750 area. We'll see if we get that. We're actually right under VWAP right now, so that makes for a pretty good trade here as well. Lastly, before I'm going to skip Kohl's and Macy's because I suspect that Zunaid might go over those. But lastly here, SMFL. This is Smart for Life. We're as high as 315. We actually have lines on this from the last time that this stock ran. We've kind of come back in here, but we've really kind of held this 237. So we're right by VWAP. Let's see if we get a curl move through VWAP up to the 265 level. If we break that, I like this to run for a 3 test. So that's what I've got on deck here, Zunaid. What do you have?
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at SPY here. Let me go ahead and throw it up. There we go. Appreciate you. Excuse me, that's Apple. Here we go. So here is the SPY. We can see that the level to kind of, this is a 15-minute chart, by the way. Good morning to everybody. So you can see the level to keep an eye on was this 217, right? Because so many times we had a little bit of a retest on it, always kind of followed through and found itself on support. So once we kind of finally cracked, and here it is again, found support in the morning yesterday. And then once we kind of finally cracked, we had a nice little retest there. And I'll show it on Apple here in a moment as well. And then we just kind of went all the way down. And then 414 has now become an area of support, which come back to pre-market today. You can see 414 holding on there. And then we kind of bleed on down. So the level to keep an eye on for me is 414. If we can go ahead and come back up there, test it, I'd be interested in a short. So we're going to go ahead and set up some alerts right over there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Apple, and then we'll go back to the Qs here in a moment as well. Similar story. You can see you kind of had pre-market support right over here, right there. And then we kind of come back, hold it as support, base, finally crack, come back to give you a little bit of a retest here. And then we just fade away to the downside. Now, the level to keep an eye on this one was 170 for me in terms of support, just simply because of the whole number there. And I expected it to kind of just get a little bit of a bounce. If we can go ahead and get that going, that would be great. You can also see that if we go ahead and look left, kind of like this 171 area, excuse me, right around here could end up being support, but it's not clean. So I'm not going to rely on that too much. 170 would be a level for me to keep an eye on. And just like yesterday, right, we can kind of see, hey, where does the action go? What does it continuously bounce from? Then we can try and play that, because let's go back and take a look at Amazon here, because we said, hey, look, this 114.25 was support a few days ago. And now that it's kind of marked up, you can see it also had resistance around this 116 area. So once we finally got above it, you got a nice little move to 117. And then we kind of came right back down when the market faded away later on in the afternoon as well. So for me, the level to keep an eye on is still about 116 to the upside, and to the downside, I'd say like 114.25, 114, give or take. That's where I'd be keeping an eye on things. In terms of the Qs, similar story. We had 335.50, right? Support. Finally cracked, came back with a beautiful retest, and then just faded away. And then 333 would be an area now for me to keep an eye on. As you can see, we kind of found support. I got to sneeze here in a second.
Bless you. Waiting
for it. All right, never mind. We might be good. I don't know. My nose feeling funny though. 333.02. All right, let's call it 333. That could be a resistance area based on yesterday's action. But again, we'll follow through and see what today brings to the table. Tesla. What a nice little rip it had off of this 188 that we kept watching. Never, ever really gave us a retest, but just a beautiful move to the upside. We did get a chance to go ahead and play this one. I think it was to the short side, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I believe it was when actually we played it to the long side, because you had this pre-market high line up with the previous close. So we had purchased 100 shares at 189 and then sold them at that 189.70. I got to hold on to my shares a little bit more. But nonetheless, coming back to today, the game plan for me is somewhat similar, keeping an eye on this 185 to act as resistance right over here. So you can see you had resistance popped up, held a support, moved at the last moment, tried to go ahead and hold on support. Then we got after hours, don't really count that. And here in pre-market, they could not get above that level there either. So keep an eye on that. Let's see how it wants to behave if it gets to 185, and then 180 would be another level that I would keep an eye on. Tesla. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that right there. I know, Chloe. We're at 180. It's exciting. I know.
Got very excited, but I muted it there. I'll take care of that.
Oh,
Sorry.
dude. No. You know me. I love the bird noises. Let's see. If there's one more stock that I want to take. Oh, RX. This one yesterday. We wanted it to go above 10, and it did. I believe it went as high as 1022. Yeah, 1022, 1023. Let me see what it is exactly. It is 1023, off by a penny. But then it came right back down, held a $9 level. I believe it's currently trading, 903. So we'll see how this one wants to behave. I'm going to set an alert here just in case it does want to go ahead and pop back above 10. Maybe we can go ahead and ride this puppy right back on up. Let's also go ahead and take a look at Google. Where are you, Google? There you are. And then we'll take a look at XPEV here in a moment as well. So Google, you have the 122 right there. Holding on to support, cracked. And now we are obviously a buck below, but we can keep an eye on this one and see if we find a little bit of love to come back, and then a little bit of hatred if it rejects from that 122 level right on back down. We can keep an eye on it and see in which way it wants to go. In terms of where does, this ticker go, I don't really know, but the only level that I personally have in mind is 120. And you can see you had resistance popped up above that level. And I like the whole number of that 120 right there as well. Let me see if there's any other tickers that I personally have in play. I don't believe I do. But Mitch, if you have anything, feel free. If not, I can go ahead and go through whatever the chat would like to discuss.
Yeah,
sorry. My bad.
No, you're good. Go
XPEV.
for it, man.
Looks like they had earnings and now they're bleeding. So keeping an eye on this one here as well. Possibly the 850. As you can see, it was holding on to support. Finally cracked. Let's see how it behaves if it wants to come back up to that 850 level. Not too familiar with this stock. I've traded it in the past, made some money, lost some money. I remember the options were quite wild on this one. But this is another ticker. Maybe 850. I'd love to see how it behaves from there.
All right, we'll see what happens today in the market. Definitely looking at what's going on in the tech kind of turnaround here. I think that's one thing that we need to definitely watch today. Will we get this continued tech turnaround, right? I mean, we're seeing it in the pre-market, but it's a whole nother ball game if we can get it to the open. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens there. I'm going to go ahead and stop one of my screens and show you guys Moomoo here as we keep trying to push the account, right? We'll see what happens overall. Right now up there towards 549, almost up 10%. And you guys can see here, I mean, compared to the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is up about 2.21%. My yield 9.8%. And I think that's what you need to be focusing on. At least that's the way I like to go about the small accounts, right? Is that if I think about it in dollar amounts, what am I going to do? I'm going to think, well, I mean, I make $50 on trade on the other account, right? And so this doesn't really make sense. But one thing that you need to be thinking about is not the dollar amounts. Just work the account higher and focus on what? Profit to loss ratio. What are you doing? How much are you risking per trade? How much are you earning per trade? Clearly, you guys can see that at least for right now, I got to give myself a pat on the back even. Because if you look here, and you look at kind of the wins and the losses that it's been so far, and I'll put this full screen so you guys can see a little bit more here. And you guys can see, what have the losses been? $4.52, $5.35. I have another loss that's about $6, right? And so balance that out, average that out. The average losses right now are about $5 on the account, but we're taking decent rewards, right? Yesterday we took 1466. We've taken like 1059. We've taken a 12-day. We've taken a 9-day. And I think that's when we start looking at it. Are we getting that 3-to-1 or 2-to-1? We're getting somewhere in between there, somewhere between 3-to-1 and 2-to-1 outlooks right now. So that's what I'm going to keep battling on. I'm going to keep trying to get in there somewhere between that and stick to the balance here, right? At least I can try to, look at trades and adjust my sizing so that the risk is about $5. Maybe $6, but no more than that right now. And then making what? Continuously making these kind of 14, 15, over $10 gains will keep me moving in the right direction and have me being about 40 to 50% accurate to go ahead and just be above break even. And then if I'm 60% accurate, I'm going to be definitely pushing this account forward. So I wanted to talk about that because I feel like sometimes, you know, a lot of traders out there struggle on trying to grow accounts. And if you really focus on the process, what I'm doing here, looking back at my results, not being scared of this, understanding, okay, 7 green days, about 2 red days, not looking too bad overall. Got to keep battling. Got to keep these green bars way bigger than the red bars, and then just keep pushing the account forward. All right, that's going to do it at least for Moomoo Talk. We can get into also just some stocks out there that I'll be watching towards the bell here today. But I think a big part of this is also watching what's going on in the banks today, because I am starting to see some of these banks come down. And I think that that's where we got to kind of keep an eye out for. Now, of course, the one thing I definitely want to watch for is, of course, looking to see if anything's going to show up on hot spots. As soon as we open, I'll give you guys all the information I have here on Moomoo. All right, pulling my screen down, putting you up, Zunaid, as I know that you are fast at the open and ready to go, my friend.
Well, so let's go ahead and take a look at where my first short is going to be. Right over here at this 413.96 level. I'm going to go ahead and go short 200 shares. I'm going to risk about $75, looking to make about $75 on the SPY. And the reason I like that short, and please feel free to interrupt me if you'd like, is you've got the 414.09, which is a previous close. I love having that as support or resistance. And you've also got this 414 that we identified early on as support and then resistance in the pre-market. So I'm looking for a quick little scalp in either direction, obviously hoping for it to come on down for about $75 gain. But right now it's currently trending a couple of bucks below.
All right, keep an eye on my swing. What you got, my friend?
Zura, first move here is up out of the open. This looks like this is trying to go pretty spready, though. I'm not going to try to enter too early here.
Boom. Nice profit there taken in Lamb Research. I've talked about this trade multiple days now. I'm going to go ahead and share my other screen here so you guys can see that trade nailed down there. LRCX, not a bad one at all. I talked about how I wanted it to get towards the 90 MA. It got to 560. We got this one from 586.58. That's a hell of a win there for me. And I don't do this too often, guys. One share is making me $26 here. And that's how it just goes to show you. You don't need to not trade bigger stocks. The key is adjusting to the risk and the reward that's presenting itself, right? I still have more, and I'm just piecing it out. But the key there is you just adjust, right? Let's say if you're using $3,000, $5,000 of capital, just adjust the share size. I think this is very important because a lot of traders avoid trades like this. Why? Because it's just too expensive. The truth is, you just got to adjust share size.
Here goes Zura through 7 up to, I have a high print of 745. ENVB really quickly took out 435, but came back in. Now we're moving above it. So ENVB, excuse me, looking like this is moving here too. Zura continuing to go. Zura over the pre-market high now. Zura big trade here. That's what I get for not taking it out of the off the open. Big move here.
All right, KSS, big move out the gates. Of course, department stores moving today. You guys can keep an eye out on that. A lot of them had earnings. They got a nice little pop. We'll see if they're able to hold ANF also in play. We'll find out.
Waiting to see if I can get Netflix, by the way, around 356 or so. Just adjusting my orders here. I'm also possibly interested if it pops above this 360, but I'd love for it to come back and test the previous close.
UTRS, this is for you penny players out there. I guess if you guys want to call this uterus, go ahead, but it's actually Minerva Surgical. It looks like this is holding that 49 support level. We're trading back up here. This is a penny play. I'm not going to trade this one already being in a penny play in the main account, but this is moving here. We already talked about ENVB and Zura. Zura going to be halted at 788 here if it holds.
All right, there you guys seeing a nice little move there.
Look at Zura. Zura halted. Big trade. Done for the day. Dave, nice job hitting that. Way to hit it
very nice.
Early. Done for the day already. Go play some golf, Dave. That sounds awesome.
I mean, it's early. You can go back to sleep with that money, baby.
Cleo, Matt, thanks for asking. Cleo's over here. He's actually playing with a toy right now. So he's preoccupied. He's not watching stocks. I'll let you know if that changes.
All right, if you guys are out there and you guys are looking for an area that you guys can join and get maybe some free stocks, right? Brokerage, you guys see us using here, Moomoo, check it out, team. I'm throwing up the link in the chat here. Check out our landing page too.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on.
What we gonna find today? ANF lifting off there. I just talked about it, and there it goes through the resistance, 2750. Not a bad move there on ANF. I'll show you guys that move there. Boom, ANF higher, Abercrombie and Fitch. I also saw Urban up earlier. That got a little bit of a pop here. Just keep an eye out to see what is going up in apparel stores right now, and kind of watching the biggest moves right now. I'll take a look there. SCVL, Shoe Carnival making a little bit, Gap pushing up higher, Abercrombie, you got Express trying to move higher here at 69 cents for you guys that like those penny names. And then just take a look to see if you're getting some retail bounce up today. You can clearly see it around. Now the only question is, will it hold?
You've got
ENVB halted.
Go ahead.
ENVB halted. That's it.
Let's see, Zura, where is it? And why can't I click on it? There it is. There it is on that side. If I can go to Zura here, I'd be interested, I think, around the $7 range. But we'll come back to that here in a second. By the way, NVIDIA, $300 test, missed it by about 20 cents, and it just went to the upside for $3. But now I've got an alert set at 300. So if it cracks it, I'm looking to go ahead and short that puppy to the downside.
Kohl's higher, Urban Outfitters higher, Macy's all higher. So your retail departments all moving to the upside. Futu higher, Moomoo's holding company. That's higher here. They had earnings and there was a conference call this morning.
All right, keeping an eye on Carvana today. That's just one of the ones that I'm watching. That could be something that I could trade in the Moomoo account. I could see it pushing back through 12 today. And so keeping a close eye on that one. I'll let you guys know if I take a shot.
I've got an order out to purchase NVIDIA at $300 if we can get it.
You're trying to go long on it?
Yeah, I'm going to try to go long if we get a retest of it. Already kind of went up, so I'm a little bit hesitant, but
yeah, it wasn't a bad little pop back, right? AMD also making a move here to 107. I think you got to be watching for hourly pullbacks in the space on technology. And then I'd be watching for maybe an afternoon takedown, because I think right now you're seeing a lot of stocks kind of get a little bit of an up move. You see Micron making a little bit of up move. That's why I'm watching Micron. I think that's one definitely as a good indicator for me if we're going to see continued tech like profit takes. And then of course NVIDIA, right? Because you saw NVIDIA move a little bit into the red yesterday. Doesn't mean that that's breaking down by any means yet, but I am going to kind of watch to see if we continue to go down. Of course, NVIDIA does have earnings today. So will they just be profit taking in NVIDIA later in the day? This is what I could see, but the only question is, will it come in? So keeping an eye on that. And I'm going to look for some smaller names too. Let's go to the IWM to kind of do that. Take a look at the change open. What's moving the most since the open? I have this CURV, interesting one, trying to make a move towards 3. It's made a recent pop yesterday towards that 3. It stopped at 3. So we'll see if it goes through it today. PRAX, Biotech's Praxis Precision. SCVL, interesting one, Shoe Carnival, that's getting a little bit of a lift today. And I'll keep watch to see if I see anything else making big moves to the upside.
EEIQ moving through the VWAP here. Jay Rice saying trimmed some more of his bud puts here. This is a 3x winner on that trade. Nice job, Jay. You gave that to us live.
I'm so upset I didn't take that trade.
Me too. I am too. That really, I tried to just stay away from it, but it was just clearly the worst marketing blunder of all time.
No, I mean, it's not even just the worst marketing blunder. I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's more about that the opportunity was there and there was money to be made. Let's just keep it simple, right? Like, not worry about the situation too much. Just worry about making the money, because the money was easy there. Bud was going up while a really bad catalyst was affecting the companies, and you can see the reaction from it, right? It's not our reaction. It's clearly around, and you can see it, right?
Yeah, be curious what date all that went down.
It was going up.
to the market.
It was going
itself.
up, Zunaid. It was going up. I can tell you. It gave you, you know, when it was the best time? The earnings pop. It popped up on earnings. What a gift. What a gift. That was the up gap, and I have that selected here. And you guys know how I am. My things tell you the date that I was looking at it, right? Look at this. Right there. Boom. 5-4. I drew that circle. That little pop-up, that was a gift. These resistance at 67. Oh, that would have been a nice one to risk off of and then nail it down back to the 200-day moving average. That's where I would see it going. Support right now, it just broke 58.20s, so I can't blame taking profits around here. It's been a really nice trade there on Bud. It popped up on earnings. That should have been the easy sign there. I remember Dennis and I being like, "Is this for real? Is this up right now?"
Well, what's up and kicking and screaming right now is this: the Netflix trade did not want to give us a fill at 355, so might just have to cancel that one. But Netflix just popping
still
up.
leaking. SPY is leaking though. That's interesting. What's getting dragged today? You got healthcare down big. Technology is just slightly up. That's why I feel like it could start coming back down later in the day. Energy is just slightly up, 0.08.
One of the things we've seen is that when energy leads, tech sells off. So interesting there to see that they're both up slightly. I expect that to resolve over the course of the day.
What's down today big? Healthcare, basic materials, and industrials. They're all down over 0.5% from the open. And overall, basic materials is down 1%, 1.06, and healthcare 1%.
ENVB is open.
Financial services struggling too, and I think that's very important to catch, guys. Look at this move in Bank of America. This tells me maybe some more banking concerns coming into play. KRE rejecting a very important trend line on the daily. I was wondering, would we get to the 42? We got right to it and reject, now coming back down. You could see some worries coming into even like PACW. I would be very careful with a name like that. And that's why I would maybe take a look there at FAZ today. And you guys can see that's clearly having a nice uplift.
One more thing, Mitch. So ENVB open popped above 5, just like Crow had called. One more thing to consider here: GCT coming back in towards VWAP. Now it already came in once to the VWAP, tagged it and bounced. Let's see if we bounce here again. ENVB down, or excuse me, GCT down at its VWAP right here.
With the chat mentioning here, PanW having a good day. I missed one that I forgot to talk about. I should have definitely been talking about Snowflake. They have earnings tonight. PanW had really good earnings. It's had pulled back on the daily. Nice little 90 EMA catch right now. So Snow having a good move right now, but I've already missed it. I can't jump on here. I got to look for some pullback action, at least to 175, up there to 177 and continuing. What you got, Zunaid? Anything yet? I'm saying I still haven't taken anything. I've been trying my best to like just hang tight early, and you guys can see it.
Yeah, so the main thing that I am is short Netflix, and that's because we reached the top of yesterday's high. We reached there, so I'm just shorting about 25 shares, looking to get $50 out of it. Would love to have maybe it back all the way to 356, but I don't know if we'd get that. But we're close to taking gains here. We're about less than $1 away. We're already about $2 in the money, I believe this is. But we're looking for a little bit more to go ahead and have our gains locked in. And matter of fact, here, if we go ahead and put up the minute chart, we can get a little bit more excited about how close we were to taking those gains. And then I'm also short RX here off of the 894. If it does go ahead and pop up above the previous close, I'd go ahead and get out of this one. But I'm hoping that it doesn't even cross the $9 range. Matter of fact,
GTC bounced about 40 cents off its VWAP. That bounce still kind of going on, although there's some back and forth going on here. Let's see if GCT can go higher. No position at the moment.
Only one sector in the green today now, that's technology. The Qs are up. You can see that the SPY's actually going against the Qs right now, going towards a new low almost. 411.81s right now. We'll see if it breaks through the lows and continues down.
I'm going to go ahead and try some GCT here. Sorry. At 1061. I'm also going to look to get another 50 shares at 1005. Stop loss for me on those will be approximately 975.
I'm looking for a little bounce here to get short on Goldman Sachs for a little bit of a swing trade action, and the key would be a move back towards 321.75 to 321.50s. and then hammering on it. If I go too early now, I feel like I can get stopped out on a test of that 321.50. So I'm going to let it hit that first, then look for a washout through 320s. All right, looking around, team. And I think one thing that I can clearly see that trade immediately turn around is that retail trade. And I think this is why we got to be careful in the retail. Yes, they got a little bit of a lowered bar, and then they came out with some decent earnings. But look how kind of an ANF is pulling back here. That's why I don't trust this move on ANF, because I feel like it could just come wipe out there. So I'll show you guys Abercrombie and Fitch. Look at Macy's already down below the 1540 support. KSS is another one that's been doing really well today. And look at that flip, quick flip there. So be careful there in those department stores today.
All right. We went ahead and took gains on. Oh, hi, my lovely face. Okay. That's
Boom.
cool.
I got you, bro. Let's keep going.
My Netflix trade is in the money. We already went ahead and locked in gains as Netflix came right back down. Again, the reason we shorted it is yesterday's high. Had a little tough time getting over it. And now let's see if we get a bounce at 360 or if it comes down to about 356. NVIDIA
looks like it might give up here. It's trying to hold the VWAP. We'll see what happens if we start to see this let go. Success is right now back to VWAP. This looks interesting on 1750s, but I'd have to be really quick in the small account. I do have one day trade, but I'm looking for a little bit bigger trade than Success. I might take this in a little bit of the swing account, but we'll see what happens. Looking around, big name moving today, GCT. I know you guys have talked to EEIQ making moves, PLAB, Phototronics up about 11%, UTRS, probably the biggest move of the day. You talked about that one multiple times. That one's now just popped above VWAP. Will it hold the 54 cents here and make a move? What I like about this one is it hasn't reached $1 yet. And I love when these try to get to $1. I also can see on the daily chart support starting to hold around 49 cents. The next move is a move above 65s. And I think we just tried to do that and then failed. So I'd be looking for a move to 75, going to 90s to $1. And this doesn't look too bad. I might actually take a shot on something like this, but it's very risky, team.
GCT kind of trading sideways here, trying to pick the next direction on GCT. Zura looks like that is that halted to the downside here on Zura?
Still moving.
Nope,
ZURA, still moving to the downside, yeah.
Big wall on that UTRS at 57, 35,000 shares just waiting there to be sold.
Currently near a VWAP is where it is. Let's go ahead and check in on our other short here. Yep, there's a short on RX. RX working out at the moment. Stop loss is 911 here. If it can go ahead and crack the 9s, and then we're waiting for it to currently break this 880 and see if we can get a move all the way down. This is about a 2-to-1 trade and then some here on RX. If that one executes properly, you've got the 360 holding on here on Netflix as it is near VWAP as well. Let's go ahead and check out the SPY. Made new lows.
UTRS holding the VWAP there at 54. Now got through that 57 seller. I'm looking at it right now. I'm even setting up an order potentially for Moomoo.
I wanted to go short Apple at 172.56, but it looks like it might crawl right before. Then we missed the entry by about 17 cents on that. Again, just a reminder, I am long GCT with 50 shares here, and I'm looking to grab another 50 at 10.05 if it gets there. And we also do have our Benzinga Titan Sports Betting Summit. That's going to happen right after this stream. So you don't have to go anywhere. It'll redirect you to it. And we've got some heavy hitters. You can see we've got Jake Paul coming on as well. And we've got a lot of other featured guests. And then, you know, we also got some moderators and panels. There's Mitch and I.
Jake Paul. I don't want to see Jake Paul. I want to see DraftKings, baby. I want to see BetMGM. Those are the ones I want to see. Stocks moving, because that's the truth. Stocks can be moving, man.
You'll see DraftKings. I believe Chris Catchy, our man Chris, is leading things there. So it'll be fun, man. Great conversation. And it's such an interesting topic because we, in my opinion, I can't speak for anybody else, I believe sports betting is kind of like the next big thing that everybody is waiting on, just based on legalization, this, that, the other. So
Waiting.
it should be
I'm
fun.
already doing
Yeah.
it, baby.
I was gonna say, Zunaid, I'm
All
with you on
across
that.
is what I
I'm
meant,
bullish
but yeah.
on that. I'm bullish on that too. I'm just so you guys are aware, I'm actively trying to clear my schedules that I can watch more of that conference. We'll see if I'm successful in that. By the way, UTRS, this is
Already
61
moving,
cents
man.
now, so
I
this
want
is
it.
moving.
I want it, Ryan. I want it.
I kind of want it for the small account too.
I have an order out ready to go at 55. I just need to just hit the
Oh my
click, right?
goodness.
So I was looking at it right there, and I could see it pulling back a little bit. So the wall right now, and that's what matters, I think, is looking for the wall pullback. So what I mean by that is there's some like big orders that are just sitting on the offer side, and then I want to see them get hit, a quick pullback, and then a refill right back up to the upside. So I'm looking for like maybe a 55 test here, a 56 test, and then I could look for the break to the upside. So I want to see some people get trapped real quick, and it sounds bad, but that's the truth. If some people get trapped on the upside, I'll pull back right below VWAP and then the move higher. We'll see.
Well, you've got GCT that went ahead and broke down to the downside there. Filled me at 10, stopped me out at 975s. So GCT, thanks to the crow jinxing it. Yeah, I'm just kidding. It did look like it was popping up, and then it just came right back down. It did go up. Here, matter of fact, let's have some fun with this, shall we? Let's do a 10 second. So here's the 10-second chart that we have on. Matter of fact, no. Why just 10 seconds? Let's go 1 second. All right, so you can see here's the 1 second chart on GCT. It kind of was here, popped up to 11s, and then within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within 5 seconds, we dropped $1 and then some on GCT. All right, let's not be maniacs. Let's go back to the 1 minute at the very least. But here we go, currently holding on to that 950s, possibly going to break. Where can we find another entry, if at all? Part of me says 8, but I think realistically, I'm probably just going to leave this one alone as I don't see anything too clean on this one.
All right, I'm
here.
going to take a peek here now because I am seeing the Qs start going a little bit weak here. So I want to keep that in mind. If I am trying to go long, even these smaller names, I need the market to start making an up move. Because if I'm not going to go long UTRS like big if the SPY's just dropping fast and the Qs are dropping fast. And that's what I'm seeing right now. So that's holding me up on taking that kind of shot. SOX S pulling back here. This looks a little bit more like a nice little day trade action here that I could take. And it could see technology start to falter. So I want to see NVIDIA if that gets hit here. That's probably more of an opportunity here than I feel like a lot of people think. So I might take a shot off of this, off the 302.50s for a swing trade short on NVIDIA. See if I can get it quickly because it's already dropping fast. I can see the bid just dropping. Let me see if I can get it here in the 80s, 301.80s. There it is. All right, got there 89. So got some short swing on NVIDIA off of the 301.50s. Going to take a shot there and see what happens on NVIDIA to the short side.
We try to get fill on NVIDIA at 300, but again, it doesn't come all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel my trade on that one. And we'll just wait for the break perhaps. But for now, not going to look to enter NVIDIA. Going to cancel that. All right, we're canceled. But now let's see if it can hold on to this VWAP or if it's just going to continue crushing below it. And here is, ooh, nice one. Here is Tesla at that 180 level. Maybe this gets a little bit of a bounce here. Let's see if we can play this one.
SPXS making moves.
EEIQ pushing through the VWAP here, going for 3. Another good call here by Crow. Looks like that is going to test 3 here. We'll see if we get a pullback. GCT, big pullback. I don't know if you covered that while I was in the washroom. GCT pulling back to that 926 level. Looks like we could bounce here.
Did go and get filled on Tesla, 75 shares at 180.08. Stop loss is approximately 179s.
Man, it's frustrating to see the SPY the way it is right now and the Qs the way it is because I want to take UTRS. It's right at the level, right? It's right there at the 55s. I could have grabbed it right now on that pullback to 55, but I'm holding off of it. Why? Because the SPY is hitting new lows. Qs are going to the lows. And one of my rules is definitely keeping with the overall market and trying to trade in that direction. That's helped me a lot save myself in situations where all of a sudden the market rotates against me. I know this is a penny stock, so it might go uncorrelated to the market, and that could be true too. But with that being said, I'm going to stay away from it.
EEIQ pulling back to the VWAP here. We'll see if it holds this and gives us a long side entry on EEIQ. Also watching GCT here for potential entry. Let me go ahead and pull up EEIQ. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle multiple screens. I Rarely have him on the right one, but this is what we're watching right here. Did pull all the way back to the VWAP. Let's see if we can actually hold this and move higher.
FAZ still looking good, man. That took off. It's not giving me even an opportunity to get in it. I just see it ripping through the moon. Look at that middle chart. Nice little move to the upside. What does that tell me? Banks getting hit. KRE getting smacked. Look at that smack in the KRE. Bank concerns coming back, team. Watch out, team. I think this could be the moment that we start really seeing some profit taking in technology. And that's my opinion, 100% mine. And I'm just putting it out there. Like always, you guys take everything I say, a little grain of salt. This is for educational purposes only. We'll find out though, but I'm seeing it. And I think one way to really tell is like, if Pan W goes red today, that will tell me something, because that was a really good report. Good technology stock, should be making an up move. If that turns red, I know what happened. Micron's another one, right? I've talked about it. It's had a nice little pop up. Will it just get hit down through that 64.11? That'll be one thing that I'll be looking for.
You've got
SMFL, good call here. Smoke tuna does look like this is curling off of the bottom. Let's see if we can get through this previous sideways range that we broke down from. That's what we'd be looking at here on SMFL. No position again.
VIX is trying to break the 20.
NVIDIA looking great for me on the swing. Of course, this is smaller size, so I got to let it work, but I'm looking for a breakthrough 300.
See what else we've got. VIX, yeah, like I said, trying to break through 20 there. Tesla looking to come back up just a little bit.
Armor Plate's asking, does Benzinga have an app for news? Are you joking? That is what we do. What you're looking at right here is Benzinga Pro. This is our customizable news platform. Yes, we specialize in news, Armor Plates. Check it out. Go ahead, start your free 2-week trial. No credit card required. pro.benzinga.com. Anyone can try.
And in terms of an app, yes, we also do have an app. You can see I've got it downloaded right there. It's the BZ app at the App Store. So definitely go ahead and check that out.
And you get 25% off if you use this link, right? We got our own live trading link if you want to get 25% off. There you go, team. Threw it up for you.
Yeah, and we've also got a new sale that we're running with, I believe it's called Benzinga Pro Streamline, where you get nice perks for $500 for a year. So
yeah,
be on the lookout for our socials on that.
It's basically a streamlined version of Essentials. So you're missing some of the tools, but you've got the big ones that you really, really want, like Newsfeed, Squawk, Chat, Movers, the whole thing. So if you're looking for kind of a lighter weight thing, as Zunaid said, we are running a sale on that for Memorial Day.
Yep. Feel free to hit us up in the DMs if you have any questions. Email us, reach out to our sales team. They'll help you out. Here is Tesla now at break even for me, as it's looking to reclaim the 180 and make its way back up to VWAP. That is the hopium that I currently have. Let me put my chart up. That we are going to go back and at least try to touch VWAP so that I can go ahead and get taken out.
All right, NVIDIA bouncing strong. Q's double bottom there. It seems like, I'll call it pretty much a double bottom around the 331.20 area. Lows there at 331.11 holding. It's coming right back to the VWAP. This could make the bounce that could happen today. The big thing for the Qs I'm looking at, does it hold the 90 EMA and recover that? 90 EMA is at 331.75. You can see it's trying to recover here. Let's see if it makes a move.
I'm going to go ahead and cancel the Apple trade that I wanted to short, since it hasn't quite gotten there as fast as I would have liked to go ahead and play it the same way that we had played Netflix, which found support at that 360 level and now making its way up. Let's go ahead and remove this for a moment.
There's NVIDIA stopping me out on the up action there. So you could see the Qs kind of follow there. People trying to pick up NVIDIA on a little bit of a dip buy, and it's okay. I take a very small hit there. I look for a bigger trade just in case we got a wipe out of a day. And now it's looking like we're getting more of a little bit of a bounce back. The thing for me is look for the SPY to see if it can make it to the VWAP. Qs are definitely bouncing. You can see Q technology maybe stay a little bit stronger than some other ones. AMD bouncing off of VWAP there. Microsoft was a little bit stronger earlier, just made a nice little up move to 316. That's staying strong. Tesla was really weak out the gates. Apple's one that I'm looking at. Now that just bounced near the VWAP, coming towards the high end of the range.
With the market, it is trying to bounce here, especially tech, Mitch, but we've seen this turn around quickly. So what we want to do is, it's early in the day. We want to see, does this move hold, or does this bounce quickly, get erased, and continue the downside move?
100%, I agree. I mean, I got out of NVIDIA for protection for upside because it's just that type of stock. But the Qs still haven't really pushed above the VWAP. That's why I'm looking to see if they can recover the 9 EMA on the daily. And that
NVB just completely beasting right now. 640, just a monster.
Just keeps battling, team. It's battling around the 59s, the 60s. It keeps running into some sellers in the 60s, and now it's pulling back. Can SPY make a nice little up move here? We can take the shot there on the UTRS. I don't mind it. It's just more along. I really like to see the market start turning around. All right, looking around. You're looking at Tesla. You shorting that, baby?
No, we're long Tesla off of the 180.08. We were in the money, but just a little bit, but not nearly enough that we need to take our gains. Stop loss 179.08. Looking to take gains at 181.08. So I'll point up, I'll point down.
All right, there's a little bit of a battle, and I'm starting to see a big buyer setting up here at 56. So 56 trying to be defended here right now on UTRS. I'm going to see if it can go to 55 here and then maybe get in.
Look for Zura to blast the top off here. We broke out of that sideways range. We're going for the high here. I would say if you're in some of this trim, here we go on the high. Let's see. We're getting all kinds of moves here today, folks, against a SPY that's really, really weak. Should be fairly easy to spot relative strength. Let's see if Zura pops here. Remember, we've been saying that some of these range breaks to the upside haven't been working. Big pull here on Zura. Big pull.
And I just got filled on that big pull. Now the question is, where's my stop loss going to be? Right at this 693 is where I'm going to get out.
I'm going to try some Zura here in the main account.
The big boy account.
I mean, I don't know if it's big boy. We're not Jay.
Come on.
All right, looking for still a little pullback there in UTRS. It still hasn't completed for me the rule of 3. It's at 3 resistance, not 3 support. So with that being said, of course, I like to play my rules. So I'm going to just try to hold off, still holding off on that name. Needs to
Big
make
pull
one
there on
pullback.
Zura.
Yeah, I'll look for one big pullback on UTRS before I go for it. The thing about Zura that I see, at least from my outlook there, is that I feel like this has done like 3 pushes, right? And if I see a stock do 3 pushes, I believe in kind of the Fibonacci's and kind of wave theory. And wave theory says after 3, you usually get a little bit of a pullback. So that's the hard part there for me to go after Zura versus like a UTRS that's going sideways here and not necessarily has made 3 moves. It's made about 1 and then the second move and is trying to build that. So Dow theory would point to more the UTRS move than the Zura move. But you guys look into Dow theory, maybe learn something today.
Yeah, I actually just got stopped out of Zura here. So $46 loss. I was only trading 500 shares because it's so spready and all over the place.
That's still a big move, man.
it might still go, but here's the thing. I watched that huge pullback, and on the bounce back, I was able to get filled and get out as opposed to taking a bigger loss. So one of the reasons I ended up getting into this is because the spread kind of tightened up on me, which is what I wanted to see, especially for an entry. We got a pop. It didn't go as high as I needed to. It actually came back in against me, showing a lot of weakness. So I took a small loss here. We'll wait for this to set up again. Looking at Zura here, looking at the volume, it still feels like this could go higher.
All right, just tried to jump into the SQQQs as I see the Qs go lower here. It seems like we're really breaking. So I took a little bit of a scalp opportunity looking for pullback entry in the SQQQs. Of course, this is more of that bigger day trade that I'm trying to take. SQQQs going after a team. Let's see what happens here. I'll show you guys the chart right quick. You guys can see how that's pulling back there. It just tried to break through the highs. Now I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback into 2680s, 2675 to add. But I'm really looking for the 27 takeoff. Qs overall just went right back to the lows, rejected that. Let's see if it really tries to break down here and go lower.
You've got
Ian,
the
ENVB trying to pull back to the VWAP. We'll see if it gets all the way down there. I have the VWAP at 542 on ENVB. We'll see if we break out of this and come back towards the VWAP. That might set up for another trade. Zura back down to its VWAP here. So again, that initial push, and if it breaks this VWAP to the downside, could get ugly.
We did go and get stopped out on Tesla and also Zura as well. As you can see, this trend line break.
There's the big pull here.
Yep.
So sorry, Zunaid. This is why I stopped out. This is why I took a small loss, because I felt like a bigger pull was coming. Didn't want to be a part of that. I'll take my $46 loss. This would have been multiple hundreds of dollars had I have stayed in this. So your first stop is your best stop sometimes. If I had to grade this trade, I would say a C, because I actually did have an opportunity to get out, just wasn't quick enough, was looking for a little bit more. But on the good side, ended up managing my risk to the downside when the trade went against me, and I'm not part of this big pull on Zura.
Big turnaround there we're seeing, team. And I think that now you got to be careful, because I'm seeing a lot of red. A lot of red. And I'll repeat, I don't like to be warning stuff. And like always, team, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But for right now, I see a lot of red. So I'd be careful with longs. Of course, this isn't for investment advice, but informational purposes only. And I can see it all around. Even stocks that are super strong heading towards the downside right now.
Speaking of that, Mitch, what about that bounce in the Qs? It's gone. It evaporated. Just like we talked about. That can evaporate quickly. It's exactly what happened.
Every sector in the red too. That's not going to help the markets, right? It's nothing going up right now versus something. And a lot of times what I would do now is I'd look at what is strong in the market, see if that even gets weak. Because if that gets weak, oh, hell no, nothing's coming back. And so right now, if I look in the market, in the S&P 500, there's only 2 stocks up more than 1% from the open. What does that show me? Ugly breath in the market. It's kicking today, baby. It's kicking. ADI and CBOE are the only stocks in the S&P 500 that are up over 1%. Yet you have stocks that are down 5%, 4%, 3%. And there's a lot of names that are down towards 2%. We're talking 30, 40 names, right? What does that tell me? Downturn is happening right now. What are the names getting hit the hardest? Moderna. It had a good day yesterday. Getting smacked today. You guys can see that here. Smacked. Dish, smacked. VFC, smacked. CRL, smacked. NWL, smacked. AAL. Should I have sold AAL yesterday, team? Hell yeah, man. I'm happy I got the hell out of that one. But what does this tell me today? That I might need to go take my profits in DAL if I want any profits, right? So I have 3.97% on this swing. And because of what I'm seeing in the market here, I'm going to just go ahead and take the profits off. DAL, boom, cash that. Now I'm looking at UAL. Let's go cashing, baby. It seems like it's that type of day. All right, oh man, it went lower for a second there, so I got to modify my order here towards the bid. There we go. Got that at the 40s. It just knocked through the 42 there. So now I only have LRCX, NCLH, and even this one is coming down. I don't want to give up the last little bit of gain that I have, about literally 2.37%. I'm just going to put a break even on this one since it's so close. And if it cuts me out, it'll be through the 1361, but it doesn't look good there. So, of course, I'm not going to lose on the position. I tried to ride it higher. And the SQQQ is taking off for me. This was a day trade. I was looking for the 27. We got that nice push. I was looking for some pullback buys. I even had the orders sitting there. And now we're looking for 27. Let's see if we can push through this and keep pushing higher. Qs breaking down.
All right, Mitch. I did it. Took some.
Did it?
Yep. Took some URTS. Here is the fill. We're filled at 65. We're actually going beneath it now. We'll see if we can get into the green, but definitely took some UTRS here. This looks like this is going to go try to challenge the high. We are in the small account. Let's hope we can get off the schneid here and break this 65 to the upside.
I loved it. And remember, I was looking for that 55 pullback. I got it there. It was only 1 second that it was there, but it was there available to me. So that shows me at least my eyes are still working good, right? Instead of feeling like I missed this one, what am I going to do? Hey, good plan, good approach. The overall market going down. It's your rules. Stick to your rules. And I think that's the important thing, right? Ryan didn't have a rule on that, and he just went for it, right? And I think that's the important thing.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, Mitch. I went for it, but I went for it because I feel like I need to get back into the green and I need to do something. So hopefully that impatience there doesn't actually cost me. We're going higher here on URTS. Would really like to see 76 cents. Only took 500 shares, so not a whole lot, but just looking for something here to get back green back on the screen.
Hold on. My man took a pretty decent size there.
Yep, trying to get green back on the screen. Let's go ahead and break 69 now, so we can all yell nice.
Nice.
75.6, your pre-market high. We're at 70 now on URTS.
I believe someone had asked for armor plates. I had asked for meta. Let me just quickly go over that, and then I'll go over your screen here in a second. So you've got a little bit of support coming in here at about 246, and then this is just a 1-minute chart, by the way, so nothing too crazy. Very short-term trend line here. Wait to see if it goes ahead and breaks, and of course, you want the market to go ahead and participate and kind of give you a little bit of strength in there as well, as Tesla is still just hurting as that one made low. Let me go ahead and turn it back over to your screen.
While we have this in green, I'm not going to let it go red on me. So if this comes back near my buy price, I'm just going to stop out. Looking for a break here of 70. Oh my God, it went all the way back down through my buy price. You can just tell you how wild this is. This is why some of these are difficult to trade here, folks.
Sellers showing up there. You see 49,000 on the 64s, and then right after that, 36,000. So a little bit of a wall there, about 70,000 shares in between the 64 and the 66. So that's where you saw a lot of the offers start dropping in there, and that's normal to look for an expansion on the Bollinger Band and a little bit of a pullback. I'd be looking for this to kind of hold around here. Definitely 57s from now on, and then just continue on. At least you did get a little bit of some volume coming into the move.
We'll see if this can trade back up here. It happened too fast. Remember, I didn't put my stop out. We'll see if this can trade back up here. But if this continues to break down, might have to cut this one. That would be a 4th losing trade in a row. Let's see if we can bounce from here.
All right, and I'll show you my chart at least, and I'll have my outlook here a little bit, and I got you, no worries. So this is what I see on the 5-minute. I see some resistance here, and we made an earlier move towards that resistance. Now it's becoming support. So if that holds around the 61s right now on the 5-minute trade, I kind of like it. And I think that a lot of times I really try my best, even on penny stocks, to move closest as fast as I can to the bigger time frame so I don't get scared and the little action that happens between the penny stocks. All right, looking for another big move in the SQQQs here. As you guys see, it's approaching that 27. Let's see if we can get a nice breakout to around 27.20s, and then I'd sell this one for a really nice gain there. Let's see if it can really start pushing here. I got this one at 87s, looking for a little push, like 30 cents, 40 cents for a little bit of a 10-cent risk. Let's do it, baby. Kicking it back to your chart, my friend.
Just kind of waiting here. Nothing has really changed. We want to see if this can come back up. I guess I could zoom in on this so we can see the action a little bit better. It looks like it is holding there. The question is going to be if it bounces here, how high do we go? I'd at least like to see the bounce really get back above my entry point. Looks like more of a breakdown coming here. Sometimes this is the way the way it goes, folks. Definitely in a day trading funk as it stands.
All right, I have the chart a little bit bigger, so I'm putting it up on mine, Ryan, so that they can keep an eye on it. You let me know when you get in and out, my friend.
I will.
All right, there you guys have it. I put the 1 minute so you guys can see that. Normally, I would stay on the 5 here just to kind of not have me kind of concerned about the smaller move. You can see how this is a lot. Doesn't make me freak out as much as this, right? And I think that's why I like the 5-minute moves, because I'm looking to see if we can start holding prior resistance acting as support.
Broke beneath 60 and then traded back above it. So it's trying to bounce here, but it's really going to need to get some more buying momentum. The momentum is definitely to the sell side here.
And I'm being very patient today. It's about 10:13. I still haven't taken a trade in the Moomoo account. And why? Because I feel like The move right now has been trading short technology, and that would have been trading stocks S again, but at higher levels that I sold it yesterday. Doesn't make sense for me to do that trade. I did maybe like the SQQQs, but that was earlier. It got to the point where it was more scalp type of trade, so I took it with a different account than the small account, but still looking to see if the SQQQs can really take off here. Qs going lower. That shows me that maybe look for NVIDIA. It's back down to the 300. AMD, what's going on with that? Below VWAP. Microsoft, it made a big move higher, now going lower. And you can see there, that's kind of a little bit of another bull trap today. So be careful on some of the bigger names as you start seeing these come down.
And on UTRS, we are continuing to break down here. Let's see if we can get, we're just beneath the VWAP. Let's see if we can reclaim that. If this starts to build beneath the VWAP, I'd probably cut it, but there's a chance that we bounce from this point.
Pretty good buying at 56s, 56.7. And so you have it there right below it. I can see here. You can see in the 56, you had a couple thousand shares there waiting there to refill on pullbacks. 56.6 there, 5,000 shares. 57.1, 57.2, another 9,000, 9,900. And so you see here how this order book is going a little bit more on the green side. What does that show me? That there's big bids here trying to get filled on pullbacks. And look how this is thinning out. So if we can drive back to the high, we won't be looking too bad on the offer side. There's a lot waiting to get bidded out. That could be also traders that are trying to get out, right, really quickly out of that trade. But I'm going to look to see if this can swing back to the highs and not see a big order show up on the right-hand side here. We'll see what happens.
SPY trying to perk up just a little bit, finding support at 410.50. 50-cent move to the upside.
And just like you say it, back down 20 cents. We'll see if it catches that bounce. I could see it reversing, right? We're near 10 o'clock, right? So this is time where I think we're either going to just get the whoosh or a move back to VWAP and play a little chop, right? So I'll be looking for it, see what happens. What would you be looking for a little bit of a move on the upside? Zunaid, are you looking to more play the SPY or a particular name?
No, just kind of hanging out and watching, to be honest, seeing how it would react around this trend line. Again, this is just a 1-minute chart, so it's nothing too strong and crazy. But the only other stock that I'm looking at is NVIDIA. If it does go ahead and break this 300, I would be looking to go short NVIDIA at that 300. Of course, if you're looking to go long, I think this is a good risk reward. You can see we've knocked on the door of 300 3 times. Went all the way as low as, what is this, about 311 cents, a low of 308 cents. So those are the two things I'm keeping an eye on.
Name falling fast right now is some solar name that has a huge gap to go through. First Solar, interesting one right now to maybe take a swing off the 200s. That's the way I'm looking at it. That'd be about a risk of $1.75 for a move back down towards a high of 183. So that's not looking too bad there. You're talking about like a 15-point move for about a 2-point risk. Will it fill that gap? I'm not sure, but First Solar seems interesting to me today. You guys can see that daily gap right here. Is it going to go for it? We'll see. All right, let's keep going at it, team. I'm going to keep looking for the trade there. I still got the SQQQs. Now they're pulling back fast here. It looks like we just got a little bit of a whoosh pull back down there. It didn't break through the 27, so just got to keep watch here. I'm actually going to cancel my orders that are set up there on the pullback for the SQQQs. So I'm trying to cancel those, make sure those get all canceled out. So then I don't mind that I can go after it, but I just want to watch as it pulls back, because if it goes through 80 to 75, I would much rather get filled on 75 pullback than get filled right at the 80. I had it setting right there. Get down, SPY, says Dason. We'll see, man. We'll see. SPY is trying to bounce here a little bit at the 411s. Let's see if it can gain a little bit of volume. It's been declining volume. It did get an increase there at the bottom. I see a double bottom on the 5-minute. Zunaid kind of pointed it out also, the 410.50s area. I see 410.56, 410.60s. That's kind of the support right now.
Yeah, and you can see the trend line acting as resistance right there.
Yeah, and when the SPY or the overall market or the Qs never want to make a move back to the VWAP, that shows me how weak the market is right now, right? And so it hasn't made even that chop to the VWAP today. Let's see if it gives us that chop or not.
The market trying to bounce here, but again, like we did earlier, let's watch and see if that bounce actually materializes or if it evaporates here. As far as the trade, UTRS trying to bounce here, we'll see if it gets any type of buying momentum back to the upside, and maybe we can actually make something out of this mess. We shall see.
Yeah, waiting.
Still looking around for other plays too. Sorry, Zunaid.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just trying to see if we're going to get that pop that I'm looking for above this trend line, just to kind of quickly play it. Here, let's go long. We'll go long 100 shares here. I've got my trigger quickly on the sell. If we do go ahead and pop up to about, say, 411.50s or so.
Are you long the SPY?
I am long the SPY, 100 shares. Stop loss for me is probably going to be approximately 410.80s or so. Just looking for a nice little move to the upside if we can get it.
This is, I think, a reason why I've been trying to be patient. I am playing the SQQQs, but at least for the Moomoo, trying to be patient on it.
Yeah, my account is definitely suffering on that one.
Yeah, mine too now. Just made a complete mess of this. UTRS continuing to the downside here. Gonna have to cut this. See if we can get a bounce back here. But man, oh man.
And, you know, it's just a part of the game. I think that's just what we always got to think of, right?
But this is why I generally don't play these penny stocks. You folks are seeing it. We did get a little bit of the movement that I was looking for, but it simply wasn't enough, and it immediately got sold into and smacked. This seems to happen with the penny stocks more than some of the other smaller cap stocks that we trade. With the small account challenge, I was enticed by the smaller price and being able to add some more of that size, and that is now going against me.
Let's see how NVIDIA's doing. Still holding on to 3. Nice support there. We've also got, oops, sorry. Back here for a sec. All right, coming back here.
I need to
sell my SPY.
Need to learn how to use the ABCD pattern and the Elliott impulse wave drawing tool on Moomoo. I'll look into that, team. I definitely would love to draw those more often. So
the VIX is definitely above 20.
All right, like how the SQQQs is coming right back for the break to the 27s here. So I'm actually going to take a little bit more of a shot here. Just added on the SQQQs at 26.92s. Now I can hold off the 26.80s here for the breakout to the upside. I'll see what happens.
Market bounce paused temporarily, but we haven't set new lows, so nothing crazy to worry about. It's still trying, but we'll see if that bounce ends up materializing here.
Happy saying that Yellen making some comments on debt ceiling. One thing that I mentioned this morning on pre-market prep is, will the outlook get worse before the debt ceiling gets solved? This is what I think will happen. I think they'll make it sound really, really bad at first, and then all of a sudden there's a solution. So with that being said, that's another reason why I'm playing to the short side. I feel like the politics here is just going to play the classic game. Everything is horrible. We're never going to get it done. And all of a sudden, in one day, they get it done. That's the way they play games with us all the time. So guess what? I'm playing that game. I'm trying to be on top of their psychology, and I'm playing against their psychology. Let it make it worse. I'm not going to believe them. I'm going to still believe that this gets solved. That's the way I'm going about it, team. And that, what is that? Gambling. We talked about that, right? We got the sports betting event coming up next, baby. You know me. Ain't gonna hide away from it. I'll take my educated guess on what could be happening, and I know my risk, just like it is in sports betting, just like it is in trading. So stay tuned. We got a great one for you guys coming up, team. Don't want you guys to miss. You guys have seen the trailer. We're gonna take a look. We'll see what happens. What does Jake Paul say about the industry? What does BetMGM saying about the industry right now, right? Are we seeing a lot of NBA bets? I know I want to ask that question because I know I've been doing a little bit of betting action Especially when I was in Indianapolis. I jumped on some free bonuses out there. You know me. But I actually did a funny one on game 2. I bet against my own team, knowing that, hey, if they lost, I mean, the Heat would be up 2-0, so I wouldn't be too mad.
We call that an emotional hedge when you bet against your team. That way you can draw a positive even from a loss. Sorry about your Heat last night. I still do think they win the series, though.
Yeah, I kind of expected it. It's okay. It's all right. You know, one of the things is the important thing is getting to the finals, right? If we can just do that without Hero, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves.
I heard that he was cleared for. I was going to say he's cleared for basketball activities.
Yeah,
that makes me
he's
wonder
cleared
if he'll
for
come back during the
activities.
finals.
He will come back in the finals. My guess is game 2, not game 1. He needs to really get his shooting back into play. He's been running consistently, keeping up his cardio, so that's not going to be an issue. The issue is going to be more just getting back into the feeling of the game, right? The game in the NBA, let's just be honest, is pretty quick, so you have to get a little bit back. I love when Zunaid does the Yoda thing, and we're all thinking that he's telling me to stop talking, but no, he's just doing the Yoda thing, guys.
Can't be.
I'm looking for the breakout
panel
here for the SQQQs. Can I get it, team? 27 break here? We'll find out.
You've also got the SPY and YOLO a day.
There's 27 showing up. The Q is going to go right back to the lows. It didn't make it to the VWAP. That shows me weakness here, team. I've been talking about this, right? When the indexes don't make it back to the VWAP, that shows weakness, right? It doesn't show indecision. It shows the bears are taking control a little bit here. They just put a bigger bar. Let's see if we put an even bigger bar back to the VWAP for the bulls. But if not, it could go lower through the 330s. Look at NVIDIA. I think that's one of the good radars to read today. A crack through 300, a big crack there could show profit taking in a name like NVIDIA. So we'll see what happens. Also, I talked about Microsoft earlier. Is that a bull trap? Find out. Apple overall pulling back a little bit here. AMD is a little bit stronger than all of these. We'll see if that one can catch a lift back through the VWAP. Qs overall, will they break down here? Let's find out. Hello. And of course, that UTRS is just hanging on here on the 55. So
it's hanging on, man. It's trying to bounce here.
Look at the hourly. And this is why I like hourly, guys. Remember I talk about how, to me, really the best chart is going to be your hourly, even on a smaller name. Why? Because look at the support and resistance here that you're clearly seeing, right? And what does this give me is that if I really want to come after this stock, what would be the best entry? For me, I really like to get long on supports. So the best entry for me would be something near 51 or 50, right? I mean, if you have that entry today, you're feeling golden. When you're in the middle is where you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then, of course, at the top, you're going to feel like you need that breakout, right? This is why you got to determine what type of trader and what kind of personality you are. For me, I want to be trading off the supports and then having risk underneath support. Some traders risk off support. It's all about how you want to trade. And I think that's an important thing to learn on this trade. How do you want to trade? Ask yourself that. Are you a breakout trader? Are you a trader that trades after like the VWAP in the middle? Or are you a buy on support type of guy, right? You see Zunaid buy on support all the time. And I don't know how he does it, because even some of those, I'm like, man, Zunaid, you're impressive there, how you call that support, and it comes right to the key, and then he goes after it. The key there, he's buying off support. He knows that's what he's looking for, and that's why he's going after it. Got to know our personality. What you seeing today?
You've got the support being lost on NVIDIA, as that one is below 300. We'll see if it's able to kind of quickly reclaim it or not, but there's a 5-minute chart on NVIDIA looking to go to the downside. I'm short the SPY here as well. 200 shares short off of the 410.45, looking to get gains at around 410 to go 100 off, and then the rest will kind of leave to see how it moves to the downside. Of course, Yellen is talking, and so you can get any wild moves from that one.
I think what you might see from different media sites a little bit later is, right, what is the situation getting worse before it gets solved? This is why I try to bring it early in pre-market prep. Team, smash the like for comments like that, because really that's when I feel like, hey, I'm really doing you guys a service on just bringing something up. It's up to you guys to make your investment decisions, right? But the only thing that I can do as a host is try to wave the flag.
Mitch, we need a fun bet for you if the Heat blow a 3-0 lead.
I mean, they've never blown a 3-0 lead. So if anybody wants to take that bet, I will
Nobody
give you some
has,
odds.
actually. Nobody
no
has.
team has, right? It's
No
0
team
for
in the NBA. In the NBA,
Yeah.
no team has done it. In the
Yeah, I think
NHL, it's
baseball,
happened
you've had
3
that.
times. In baseball, I think it's happened twice.
I think it was Red
Um,
Sox that beat Yankees down
You
0-3.
Yeah,
got
it
it, my
was.
friend. Exactly. That's one of the
Yeah.
teams. And then there's another one that it happened. I forgot what it was. But the truth is, I highly doubt it happened in the NBA. And if anybody wants to take those odds, you call me. I'll make the contract.
Well, no, we know for a fact that it hasn't. Again, I think
No, I'm
it's
saying more
0
like
for
if you want to
150.
take
You wanna take the
Boston.
other side.
Yeah, I'll figure out some odds for you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this short here since I did go ahead and reclaim the 410.50 just by a little bit, but still gonna go ahead and get out of it.
All right, guys, it's about to be 10:30. I'll let you keep focusing on your trades, guys. I'm going to play a quick little trailer about our event that's coming up in just 30 minutes. Stick around, team.
But I say it's boxing better and sleep, and that's my life pretty much. Focusing on the boxing thing makes everything else in the ecosystem bigger.
All
That
right,
should be a
team.
fun one.
Don't miss it. Definitely, it'll be a great one coming up, team. And you got some great events, of course, that will be taking place. There's going to be public companies. There's going to be private companies. There's going to be big CEOs, DraftKings CEO coming in there. Jason Robbins, of course. We're seeing DraftKings take a little bit of a pullback. We'll get information from the CEO. You don't want to miss that, especially, I mean, if you're a DraftKings investor and you're missing that. I don't know what you're watching, but definitely don't miss that. We'll have great conversations. Gambling.com. That's GAMB. You'll get information from BetMGM CEO, FanDuel, president. Don't want to miss that. Moderator for that is iBet Sports Betting and Gaming ETF, Jeffrey Camps, Principal and Chief Investment Officer. So you're getting experts to go ahead and ask these CEOs the questions that I'm sure they want to hear and you might want to hear. So stick around, team. We'll see what else. You got an interesting one. Also,
I'm out, Mitch. By the
You're
way,
out? Go for it, my friend.
Took the loss on UTRS. Just a complete disaster here. Just to kind of review where we're at, we're now down to 428. So we're really down from the starting balance. Used up another day trade. Thank you. And as Mitch was saying, look at all of the red days that I have amongst the calendar here. Look at this. Going the wrong direction. So, Mitch, to your point about ways to actually handle this, going to have to stop trying to trade breakouts on some of these riskier names. Going to definitely have to stick back to what I know here, buying on support, using some of the small caps. Just not a good performance the last week and a half in the small account challenge.
I think, Ryan, we talked about also like seeing how our losses are and comparing to our wins, right? I feel like that loss was a little bit bigger, and we need to just keep in mind what the average wins and average losses are, because this is going to try to help us continue the process every day and coming in with that same mentality. One thing, Ryan, that I've tried to do is like, let's say, like, as I start making money using bigger sizing, because if I keep doing that, keep playing that game,
eventually you get wiped out. Yeah.
I take one big chunk out of my account and I'm like, man, all those base hits, all that average just got screwed, right? And so that's what we want to keep in mind. And that's why I talk so much about mathematical probability in your favor. How can we do that? That's our first job as a trader. Just get that mathematical probability on your side, and you'll see things will just start landing almost in your favor. And that's what I really try to do as a trader.
Man,
all right, there's SQQQs making a nice one there. I'm looking to take some profit here as we get to 27.20s. It's at 27.05. So this is the day trading account, so it's a little bit bigger size. And I just want to get that nice little last little extension. I feel like we can get a nice little push to 27.20s, and then it could pull back to 26.80s. I don't want to be a part of that because I'm in at 26.89. So I'm looking for that nice little expansion, sell a majority of it, and then look for a tiny piece as a runner.
UTRS now, of course, right back to the VWAP, which is exactly what I was trying to avoid. Now we're moving higher here. All I had to do was sell it. Just another example of just really, really poor trading on this name here.
And the key is learning from it, Ryan. No worries about it, man. And we're all going to make
frustrating
mistakes.
though. I mean, like
100%.
if you take a look at the actual like raw numbers, let's see. Let's go back to this. Yeah, I lost $57. So definitely bigger than I wanted it to be, but like not the end of the world, just really frustrating the performance. Wanted to play the breakout, didn't get filled on the move up, immediately reversed against me, really kind of just sold at the lows. Like it's hard to do it worse than this. I guess if it breaks down later today and goes even lower, that's fine, or maybe it'll look all right, but just really, really disappointing in the small account. And that's the thing, though. You got to be honest about it. Like my performance in the small account recently has really, really been bad. And I'm going to look for all of these tips that we talk about in order to turn that around. This is why we stop out of it. I don't want to just sit on something, have it go to zero and be like, well, that was it. I want to try and actively manage it. So like Easy Mike was saying, at least you know how to get out of a bad trade. This was absolutely a bad trade. I am out. We're going to look to reset up again.
Yeah, and right, Raz, we did go ahead and talk about the VIX today, and it's moved towards 20 and then above here as well.
So with that being said, on UTRS, I could still see another pullback to 48 and then a takeoff. And so this could be one of those that makes it a later in the day move. You know how sometimes we see that around power hour. Yep. Or around maybe it's like 2 o'clock time. So I'll give you guys how I draw this, right? And I think it's very important, right? And what sometimes gets me to go into trade, what sometimes gets me to hold off. For a second there, I really wanted UTRS. You guys could hear it in my voice. What kept me from the trade, right? What kept me from the trade was using my rule of 3, right? And so my rule of 3 says I need to see 3 resistance tries and 3 support tries before I go after it. Because if I don't wait for that, a lot of times I can either get caught on resistance or get caught too early, and I have to wait the trade out before it really takes off. So in this case, we get a drive up here towards 70 cents, right? Then we get a support try. The support try is back here at the 50 mark or 48 mark, right? Then we get another move higher here, second resistance. Now we get a second support. Essentially, I need to look and wait for the third support first before I'm looking for the takeoff. And this is my rule of 3. You guys don't got to trade this, but you guys will look around and tell me what you guys see with this rule. And does it help or not? You guys can tell me, do the research, right? Don't trade it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying look around at patterns and tell me if you see what I'm seeing. So I look for this nice little attempt for the third support. And this is the third resistance try. From this point, I don't want to see really resistance tries. I want to see that support get tested one more time and then volume come in, increase as it starts to come up through the resistance. So that would, the fourth resistance try would be an actual breakout through this trend line through kind of like the 56, but back as it comes back to 48, 50s and then catches the bounce higher. That's the rule of 3. We'll see if it comes into play. All right, pulling that down. Let me go ahead and pull up here. The SQQQs also keeping an eye on that because we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback. I'm not getting the breakout I'm looking for. So got to be patient here, but really want to hold off the 27, 26.90 area. Don't want to lose on this trade. I'm up decently, but this is more of day trading. Got to keep it tight. Got to keep it tight. Not going to let it go to 26.80s. So got to really focus in here on the SQQ. All right, what you guys looking at? Oxy, PanW, Amazon. I'll run through some of those stocks. Let's do it. Oxy, nice little push higher here. Look for pullbacks of 59.80s for a VWAP bounce type of style trade. Look to see if 1 hour, is it finding some support around the 1 hour? You can see around here yesterday, support was around 59.64. Below that, the level's down there towards 59. So it seems like it's catching somewhere in between that and trying to make a move back to 60.32s. We'll see if it can get up there into that level and find some resistance or blow through it. Another one to take a look at, PanW. That one had earnings today. It's holding off of VWAP. Talked about, will this one go red? Would be a good indicator that the market will stay red. But if this one can buy the dip and get back up to 207, why not Snow? Snow's another one that I'd look at. PanW goes higher. I feel like Snow goes higher. They do have earnings after the bell, so be careful on a name like this. But I also like how it's hanging off of VWAP here. Doesn't look too bad. Amazon, one that has been pulling back. Look at Shop, though, pull back. I talk about how when Shop pulls back, Amazon pulls back. Shop is finding a little bit of lift today. I'll see if Amazon gets a little bit of a lift a little bit later, especially down the line. So you can see we popped, we pulled back. Let's see if it holds this 15-minute support around 115.25s. You can see a couple wicks through that, but it definitely held there. It seems like it's holding a little bit of support here on the hourly.
A couple updates.
Amazon. What you got, my friend?
A couple updates on my end. So we had NVIDIA went ahead and hit our target of 299 here. So we went ahead and took our profits there out of NVIDIA. This RX still kind of now hanging out. We already kind of broke this support level of 880, but now we've got another 20 cents to battle, or 10 cent lower. So, I mean, honestly, I might as well just go ahead and get out of this one because I'm impatient. Now we've got other events coming up that I need to prepare for. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this one here as well. The thing to keep an eye on now is going to be the SPY, right? Do we go ahead and break this 410.50 and then move ourselves downside, or do we reclaim VWAP and move above 411.50 area? You were just talking about Amazon, as that one is below VWAP, but it's holding on to this 115.50 area right over there. And if you'd like, you can kind of draw this little trend line to see if you can get a little bit of a break to the upside from that SPY. It should be from the Amazon. And here's a SPY trend line kind of being broken. Again, this is on the 1 minute, so it's nothing that's going to, be a long-term trend line that we're breaking. Oh my God, tweet about it so that 90 other people on FinTwit can copy and pretend like it's their original idea. Can you tell I'm triggered? But that's what I've kind of got. And NVIDIA, we're just waiting for the crack of 299 to the downside. What, Ryan? You giggling at me, Ryan? Or were you not giggling at all?
No, I was just kind of laughing at your statement. Yeah,
rant.
Yeah, this is rather entertaining.
It blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. Yeah, I agree, mods. I was hoping for RX to break 10 yesterday. I played it a couple of times in anticipation, and we were in the money by 22 cents, but we just couldn't get the 50 cents and the dollar that I wanted on RX. But yeah, that's what we've got. June 5th, Apple's upside event or not. Matter of fact, I'm sure, again, if you Google it, you should be able to get information on, hey, when there's a software event and when there's a hardware event, how does Apple behave the day before, the day of, and the day after? I'm sure you'll see that research out there. I don't know it, which is why I'm not spilling the beans, because I don't have any beans to spill on that. More lows on NVIDIA. But I believe typically it's a disappointment in terms of the stock. I don't know if we get a run up or not, but I know typically it kind of sells off. Because whatever we're expecting is what comes out, and it doesn't blow our minds away. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Or it just disappoints, So that's the way I see that. But I'm going to hop off. I got to go take care of some stuff and then get ready for the panel as well. I know, Mitch, you're doing your thing there as well. But anything? Let me go over my Moomoo account, because that has been a disaster. Give me 1 second here. There we go. So here's what happened, right? We took, I don't know how you get to the calendar. Can you tell me how to get to the calendar on here? Or is
Scroll
it
down in that pane.
Just scroll down, bro.
Oh, this is great. I need other brokers to hop on this one. This is great. So you can see,
never
have I ever had a green day. So honestly, you can just come on here, tell all your buddies that if they want to make money, they can come on down and fade me. But what's interesting is, as you look at this, it was just kind of frustrating. I was kind of disciplined, saying, okay, cool, smaller trade. Then I got annoyed, and then I took a couple of bigger contracts, if you will, or not bigger contracts, but I took more quantity of them. But unfortunately, I have just been horrible with the small account challenge. It is not something that I am good at. I mentioned that before we even started, and it shows. But what's interesting is that mentally in my head, I'm trying so hard not to just YOLO this last 171 into an NVIDIA earnings or into anything like that, just to kind of be like, whatever, it's $171. If I lose it, I lose it, whatever the case is. So that's the toughest thing that I'm dealing with mentality-wise. And real quick, as we're talking, you've got Netflix that is strong at the moment. Let me go ahead and share my charts before I hop off here. We'll take a look at the SPY, as that's approaching VWAP, but you've also got Netflix that has broken yesterday's high and also today's session high, as it's looking to break 364.50s. So keep an eye on Netflix. If you do go ahead and get a pop on the 15-minute and then the retest on the 15, that could be a good area for entry there as well. But
ENVB, by the way, ENVB breaking through this little downtrend here. So this actually looking good. 7 test looks like it's on deck here. ENVB, no position.
Take away the dollar amount, how you trade small account grows. So you're absolutely right, Trent. I think the toughest thing for me is the pattern day trade rule and the settlement situation, right? So it's not necessarily just the money of 500, because I believe I can go ahead and make money if I have $100 to trade every single day type thing. But it's the contracts that I typically like aren't just 100; they're like $300. So then it's like, hey, I can only take one, but if I want to go ahead and swing it, or if I want to get out of it, then the PDT rule comes into play. Even if I have a cash account, then I have to wait for it to settle. So it's like a lot of different roadblocks and first world problems that I'm complaining about here. But nonetheless, I was just sharing that mentally, it's tough for me not to be like, all right, $171. Here's one YOLO. Let me see if I can double it up. So that's what I'm saying, Trent. PDT is when you're on margin, which is cool. I have a cash account, but then I have to wait for settlement as well, is what I'm saying. So either way you go, you've got a little bit of resistance.
And there goes ENVB. While Zunaid was saying that, we actually crashed right back through this trend line. So again, if you're going to play this here, you have to be quick. And one of the things that we've been saying is that when you get gains, make sure you take them. Don't try to force them and wait for bigger gains. That's often how you get in trouble. So ENVB, we'll see if this sets up again. Definitely keep this on your watch list for later. Especially if this flags here or trades along its VWAP here, maybe you get a volume pop later in the day, and this does in fact try to take out 7.
Jan, patience is the #1 thing I could learn, not just in trading, but in life as well. No question about it. The best trades that I ever make are the trades where I just put it on and go do my dishes, go for my steps, go do my affiliate work, squawk, whatever the case may be, and not micromanage it. But here you are on Netflix looking to get above this resistance area and hold on the 5-minute. So here's the SPY. Let's go ahead and put it on the 5-minute chart so we can see what's happening here. Question will be, do we reclaim VWAP or do we crack the 410? That's what it is. For a second, I thought Walter was talking about me when he said this dude loves to talk. I was like, what did I do?
Well, this dude, man, he's just taking over the stream, bro. Just running it, bro.
I'm like, usually Mitch gets all the slack. Why am I getting it, or flack?
Oh, that's the way it gotta be, bro. Sometimes we all get it, baby. What I always say is, if there ain't a hater, I ain't doing it right, baby.
I almost wanted to go with the 50 Cent round. Like, what you say me for?
Hey, that's how it is, man. Talk all we want, right, Raz? If you want to come on and talk, you can come talk too, bro. That's the truth. We have the doors open.
Seriously, the dishes.
No, I know. I need to do the dishes. I do.
But seriously, the dishes,
and laundry
bro.
Too. I need to.
Oh,
do
laundry.
well.
That reminds me something. I gotta do some too. All right, Zunaid, I'll get you out of here so you can get ready for your interview. That's coming up. Don't miss it, team. We got a great one coming up. Of course, we've talked about it already multiple times. Who you got, Zunaid? Who you gonna be going after?
So we actually got a whole panel, which is why I'm leaving early, just so I can make sure everything's
nice.
good. We've got Mojo, which is so cool because that's where sports betting meets stock market type investing and betting, if you will. So that's really cool. We've got Perform CB trying to figure out how AI is used in the affiliate side of things and for acquisition of customers and clients. And then you've also got the Gaming Society betting on women and trying to get more women involved in the betting world. So that's really cool there as well. So we've got a lot of great guests coming on. And we've also got folks from NASCAR talking about, hey, how that's being impacted and how NASCAR is growing in terms of betting and everything faster than any other major sports compared to your NBA, your MLBs, your NHL as well. So those are the 4 companies that we have. We're going to have a nice, lovely panel for 30 minutes with all of them. And I know you've got a company that you're speaking with after that as well. And Chris is talking to DraftKings, and then we've got the Paul interview set up as well. So a lot of great stuff coming up in approximately 13 minutes. And I hear Luke is coming on stream with a bow tie. It's been a minute since I've seen the man on air, so having him come on with a bow tie is going to be fun as well.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. Zunaid, do it, baby. I need to get dressed too, so I'll be leaving. But guess what? I get at least the opportunity of getting off, and there'll be other people coming on. So I'll change it up. I want to get fancy. You know what? I'm gonna bust it out. You guys catch me. Don't miss me, of course. That's coming up. You know I like to clean up. I'm gonna have a little battle. Who's going to be able to clean up better, Zunaid or I? You guys let us know on the sports betting challenge.
Are you wearing a tie? I mean, if you're wearing a tie,
I'm not telling you. I'm not giving away my secrets, baby. You know, come on, baby. You think Money Mitch is going to give away his secrets? Come on, man.
Look, if you come out with a bow tie.
What you got, Zunaid? What you got, my friend?
Here's what sucks though.
Bring it, baby.
I am before you, right?
I
So
know,
then you kind
I
of get to
know.
see what, you know what? I'm about to hit up Alyssa. Not Alyssa. I'm about to hit up Lisa. I'll be like, hey,
Seat
listen,
dance,
can we
baby.
push back? Can we push back my time?
All I got to say is you better bring it, baby. You better
Well,
bring
here's
it.
the thing though. I wouldn't mind wearing a tie, but then if like the panelists are just kind of like, more casually dressed, and then I look like the jerk overdressed. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which way.
We'll have to see, man.
the
All I
cookie
got to say
crumbles
is
on that.
you better bring it, baby. You better bring it.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all later. Bye.
Have a good one, my
Take care,
friend.
Zunaid.
Zunaid out of here, and we'll start wrapping up in a second. I'm still trying to cash SQQQ, but I want to show you guys something. I talk about the rule of 3 too much, I feel like. And why? Because it works, man. Because it freaking works, man. Look at this. All right, so this is the SQQQs here, right? We're going to do it on a 1-minute outlook here for the breakout. I got to take the cash at 27.20. So if you see me, just shut up for a second. We know why I'm shutting up. But let me actually get that ready here instead of talking about it. All right, 27.20s. Because if I can get it out, I'll just get it out there and just take it all off. Celebrate the win, team. It's not going to be a bad win at all. All right, I'm even putting the limit order out there right now. Okay, so I'm going to draw this out, right? And it's all about looking for resistance tries and support tests, right? So you get this kind of nice little push higher here. You get a nice little push, right? You're looking for support, right? You start getting this nice little down action, right? Now you're looking for up action, right? Now you get the up action, right? Then you get down action, right? And this is what we're looking for, right? And if you actually see here, you got another test down here. And once we start going to that, you get another kind of little push higher here, right into the trend line. Now we have the full rule of 3, and we can look for reversal signs and breakouts. So this is what I always look for when I'm playing these types of patterns, sideways patterns, consolidations, even wedges. I look at this. And so I'm always looking to see the stock just kind of ladder, make 3 attempts towards support, then get volume on the breakout. Look at the volume here. Talk about it. Well, that's what we want to see too. Volume declining, volume increasing on the breakout. Exactly what we see here now. From this point on, I could hold to this support, 26.98. If it cuts below that, I'm out no matter what. But if it goes ahead and breaks out, it could go ahead and give me that nice win. How could I measure the breakout? Well, I can measure the breakout like this. So this is one way of doing it, measuring what they call the flag. The flag would be this action that got you higher from the previous range. So if you measure that, what is that? That's a measurement of 24 cents. So on the breakout on this, I can look for about 24 cents. Is it always going to be 24 cents? No. But this is one way to go ahead and measure the flag action to give you an estimated reward, right? And if I'm looking for 27.20s, doesn't look too bad. It looks like it could go to maybe 27.30s, but I'm okay taking that 27.20s. We'll see what happens here. SQQQ is trying to push towards that 27.20s. Let's see if we can get that little push, take the money, and run, baby. All right, let's keep it going here. Like always, guys, smash up those thumbs. Let's see what you guys are looking at in the market. What are the ones you guys got? Who you guys got your money on? You guys got your money on Zunaid or Money Mitch, baby?
I'm going to bet on Money Mitch. I'm just going to say that. I'm in your corner, Mitch. I'm in your corner with the heat. I'm in your corner with the cleaning up.
Oh, man.
Zunaid has to go first. Mitch probably has something.
Then again,
here. We'll
Zunaid probably already got his hairdresser already there, so he's getting a fade right now. So I don't know, man.
Fresh cut.
He's getting the fresh cut right now as we speak.
That's why he had to jump early.
Yeah, you know it, man. Money Mitch, can you explain the rule of 3 on the EEIQ chart? Why not, right? I mean, we've been talking about it all day. Why not take a look into another chart? Like always, this is just for educational purposes. And I truly want you guys to go looking around to see if my rule of 3 works. This is the only time that I've ever been, and you guys will hear me. There's not many things that I talk about, like holy grail type of things, you know. I kind of try to stay away from things like that. But to tell you the truth, this is the only time I've had an aha moment is by looking for the rule of 3 and then kind of using that. So, of course, take that with a grain of salt. You guys do the research and tell me what you guys find. All right, let's take a look there and take a look at what the stock that you wanted to look at. That's EEIQ. Let's do that right quick. EEIQ. Let's see. Definitely a smaller name, right? But we're going to go to a little bit of a bigger time frame because you're seeing these big pullbacks. On the 1 minute, this could be a little bit of a rule of 3 that we could talk about, but that's not going to give us much. You see that, right? And what was this little breakout? 48 cents. What did it break out here? 61 cents. So The estimate's never going to be exact, but that's how I estimate some kind of breaking to the upside. I'd go more with like a 15-minute approach here, right? And so you're kind of getting these 3 waves up higher. And if anything, I'd go now more towards the 1-hour approach, right? Because you're getting sideways action for longer than kind of an hour, right? I mean, just take a look at this action. Now you can see how you've gotten that kind of move up higher from this, and then you moved into another price consolidation zone, which is between the 240s and kind of the 325 on the upside. Never going to be 100% exact, but I can see here, let's work now backwards, right? Now we're going to go to the 15-minute. We'll draw it here. And now we can see, okay, support is actually closer towards 233s. We're moving closer into the time frame and trying to find more of the price action. What does it actually look like? And then I look to the left and I see these bodies closing a little bit lower. If I put the line there, look how it went right to that line on 221s, 223s. So that looks good there. So now I have that one up action. I have a pullback. I have a secondary up action and another pullback. So that's the 2 pullbacks. You can see here how support is not acting at the same level, but closing near the same bodies. And I'm going to lower this one a little bit towards where the body is. And if you look to the left, look how this body is very similar close to this one. Is it slightly below that? Yes. But that still gives me that second support. Now you get another test to resistance. That's the 3rd test to resistance. Now I'd be looking for it to hold around that area for support. That's a move into the 256 to 235 range and then making a move back through 3. That's when I would be looking at it. Of course, you guys take your own risk assessment and outlook on this using the rule of 3. And if that's the strategy you want to use, by all means, hey, sometimes let them know. Money Mitch, baby, is the rule of 3. All right, we'll see what happens with that one. If it does give us that move there, still looking for the SQQQ to give me the gain there, man. It still hasn't made that move, but sometimes you got to be patient. And it's right now at 27.14, has gone to 27.17. Looking for a little pop higher. Take the money and run. That's what I'm trying to do. 10:55 here. We got about 5 minutes to our event. Don't miss it, team. It's going to be a good one coming up, team. All right, what do you guys got out there? Spy low of the day says happy. That means we're coming down, baby. And it seems like we are coming down there. So we'll look to see if we continue having a leak. And profit taking in tech is what I talked about today before the market. Let's go taking a look in with, of course, Moomoo here. And I didn't even get to do a Moomoo trade today, but that's okay. Because the truth is I only had 1 day trade. And if I'm going to be patient in this account and sometimes just not take a day trade, I'm actually going to pat myself on the back as execution, baby. Discipline, baby. Discipline. A big old moo here for Moomoo. As you guys see, the best performing areas, right? You see department stores. This was up pretty big earlier. They're not doing that good now. Cybersecurity, a big theme today to not miss. Palo Alto with good earnings, right? That's helping Zscaler, CrowdStrike. I've talked about Snowflake, Sentinel-1 up today. CyberArk is one that I didn't really talk about too much, but is nice up on the day. Oil and gas, we've talked about how those are trying to get a little bit of a bounce. We've talked about Oxy. You see oil and gas, multiple oil and gas showing up here. I really love this Explore tab on Moomoo because it shows you what? Themes versus stocks. Themes are what I look for all the time. I'm looking for relationships, not necessarily one name. One name does not tell me anything, but if I see 6, 8 names out of 10 names moving higher, I'm going to start looking in that industry. So I hope that you guys enjoy talking about kind of sector and industry analysis. It definitely helps you find the stocks that are moving. And if like, you know, you're going to have 7 out of 10 stocks moving higher, what is that going to do? It's just going to increase the probability of being in the correct trade to the correct area, right direction. If 7 of them are going higher, I want to be long those names. And if I use a basket, more than likely, I'll end to the green. That's the way I look at it.
Mitch, I'm going to get rolling here. I got a meeting to get to right at 10. So good luck on the event. Be sure to check out that event. Cannot wait. Take care, Mitch. We'll see you tomorrow.
Always good, man. Always good to have Cleo, man. Have a good one. Ryan's out of here, team, and we'll keep battling. We'll bring you guys over to the event. You don't got to go anywhere. We got about 2 or 3 minutes here, so definitely going to check on that and definitely smash the like button, team. Let's keep going. Let's see what else is being mentioned out there in the market today. I'm going to take a look there to see how we're doing on the event, see if we're all lined up here for start time at 11. All right. Let's keep it going, team. I want to get this trade out here because, to tell you the truth, team, I hate being in day trades while I'm doing interviews. Because the truth is, I don't want to interrupt the interview because I got to take my money and run. And I don't want my eyes looking left and right. So I'm just watching this. I'm trying to get that last little bit of a push here towards 27.20s, have the order out there. But if for any reason I need to go away, what will I do? Well, I'll go ahead and I'll put a stop limit order at kind of 26.96 with an out towards 26.93s, give myself 3 cents on the trigger, and then we'll see if I get out of this trade. But if it can make that nice little push to 27.20s, I'll take the money and run. And it seems like we're getting that nice little profit-taking action in NVIDIA. I talked about this today on pre-market prep. This is why it's so important to catch pre-market prep. And I talk about this all the time, team. If you're not watching pre-market prep and you're on the live trading stream, you might be missing out. But I think it's so important. We do a great job at taking a look at themes. What's the flavor of the day, right? Well, today it was definitely retail stocks, but we also talked about how technology could see a turnaround. We talked about that there's mentions of COVID in China. That could be a situation that's showing up here. I talked about how Micron is very much an important stock to look at. Will this come down today and come crashing? I mean, on the daily chart, it is starting to pull back. Will it kind of take a big hit because of the China and the trade wars? Something all to keep a watch on. What do you think about NVIDIA's earnings? Well, the truth is, I think that you could see some profit-taking action, and maybe it actually bounces off the earnings because of AI mentions. But that could be, by that time, it could already have pulled back to 295, 290. So if we come right back to 310 or 315, is that really a risk that I want to take? If I'm long-term swinging like NVIDIA in a position, I'd probably take some profits today and hold a little bit if I was up big on this position. But the truth is, I'm not in this one, but I can see it turning around a little bit and maybe getting a little bit of some profit taking. And then we're also going to take a look to see what happens in the overall market because we are crashing down a little bit here. You guys can take a look at the Qs and see that kind of continuing to go lower. So if that's going to continue to go lower, that's where we got to be careful about the tech trade turning around. That's going to do it for me, team. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys over to the sports betting event. You don't want to miss it. This is coming up right now. And of course, we got great interviews that will be on there. You got Better, Jake Paul, DraftKings, Gambling, BetMGM, and of course, I'll be on there, Zunaid. You don't want to miss it, team. I'm going to get you guys right over there right now. Don't go anywhere. It starts in just a minute.
Check.